Welcome, friends, to Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter. We bring you the greatest female voices in the music industry, from the artists, songwriters, and producers, to managers and executives, and all the women who make the music industry what it is today. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, friends. I'm Donna.
I'm Paula, and today we have Nikki O'Neill with us. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just getting used to the wind chill in Chicago. Keeps you alive and awake. But
So it's true, it's the Windy City?
Yeah, I guess it definitely is. We're kind of like right in between. It was a 2-day snowstorm, which just ended. So there's tons of snow everywhere. And tomorrow or something like that, we're supposed to have like a wind chill that's like -20 Fahrenheit, speaking. So that's going to be lovely.
That's going to be cold. Okay. I'm sticking to Spain. Spain doesn't get that cold. We don't have
in the 50s this week, so I'll stick to the cold Florida.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. So tell us, who is Nikki O'Neill? Tell the world.
Who is Nikki O'Neill? She's it's always difficult to speak about yourself in third person. I'm a singer and songwriter and a guitar player, a dedicated guitar player. So yeah, I play lead and rhythm guitar. And in October, I released an album called World is Waiting. And it was on a label called Blackbird Records. And that's a small indie label in Los Angeles that's run by Amanda Mosher and Eric Craig. Amanda Mosher, she might be familiar to many of you. She's was in Calico the band, and now she's doing a solo thing. She's a great singer-songwriter. So yes, my first label experience, and I released the album mid-October, and just did a lot of promoting and shows and however you can promote it when it's the pandemic. So not so much in the traditional sense with gigging and stuff, but it's some live streams and things like that. And I just moved from Los Angeles to Chicago, and everything's a blank page. And it's like, okay, there's my band in LA is not with me. I'm in a new city and gonna start writing new songs and things like that. If you hear an odd accent when I'm talking, it's because I grew up in Sweden. So I was born in Los Angeles, but my mom married a Swede, and so I grew up in Stockholm. And just to make things more confusing, my mom was Polish, so we lived in this like multicultural, multilingual household, and listened to all kinds of music. So she basically introduced me to her record collection with Al Green and Dinah Washington and Santana and things like that. And and that pretty much trickled down into my music and the things that I love. So my music is kind of, I guess, you call it twang, soul, rock and roll. So it's a little bit of Americana, a little gospel, a little soul music. Yeah.
So tell us, who are some of your heroes that have inspired you to do music?
Some of the heroes, or a female?
Yeah, I said sheroes, meaning women, but yes, you can say men too, yes. We don't exclude them here. No, there's definitely heroes. I mean, the first ones was in Prince's band, when he had the band The Revolution, with the movie Purple Rain. There was Wendy and Lisa, the guitarist and the keyboard player. They made a huge impression on me when I was a teenager. And Sheila E. I wanted to be a drummer, and my mom said, "No way, it's too loud." But I still think Sheila E. is a badass. So those were some early influences. And then I picked up guitar when I was 16, and the reason for that is really Carlos Santana. So there's one of the dudes. But I got into music pretty intensively and practiced a lot, and attended a music school in Stockholm. That's a little bit like Berkeley and Musicians Institute, but it was like high school, and everybody was really into jazz. So then I discovered a female jazz guitarist whose name is Emily Remler, and unfortunately she's no longer alive, but she was an amazing bebop guitarist. So those were a couple of early heroes, and Dinah Washington. My mom played a lot of Dinah's records around the house, so that was a huge influence. And then getting a little older, that led me to Aretha Franklin. And yeah, she is probably my biggest influence, just because amazing singer and great pianist. And I thought that was great that she was such a good instrumentalist as well as singer, and she's written several great songs that a lot of people don't think about. Yeah.
Perfect. So I have to ask, what comes first? Were you a musician first and then the singing, or which one really sort of drew you to the music?
Well, so my mom had, played these records with all these great singers. So there's like Dinah Washington was one, and then she was really into Barbara Streisand. And so I think my mom wanted to be a singer. So when she was young, but it didn't happen. But she would play these records, and so my earliest exposure to music was singing along to Baps, and then I tried to mimic her vibrato, and my mom would say, "No, that's not how she does it." And that was kind of my vocal training. And so I was singing, but I wasn't really aware of the instrument and the mechanics of it and things like that. So I guess I'd say, yeah, guitarist, that was the first thing, because I was trained, and so I got very conscious about technique and how you get good tone and things like that. So and then I came back to the singing and really embraced it as I was writing songs. And songwriting is my main love, and my I think what comes most natural to me, and maybe if I had to pick like a forte out of those three, I think the songwriting. So.
Oh, well, that's a surprise actually, because obviously I've seen videos of you playing the guitar and it's just mind blowing. So for you to say songwriting, I was like,
well, let me ask you a question with songwriting though. Do you do lyrics first or melody, or kind of do both?
I can do both. It depends. It's been different phases. So when I started out writing, then it might be a guitar riff or a chord progression that would inspire a song. Lately, I think I try to write the lyrics first, because they're the hardest thing for me. And then once I got the lyrics, or once, if I have a collaborator who works on lyrics with me, once I hear a good rhythm in the words and there's some great images, then I kind of start hearing the music in my head pretty easily. So there's once there's a musicality to the words. And songwriters, I always felt like they were my tribe. And singers, I love to sing, but there's singers were the ones who they often didn't play an instrument, and there was this gap between the players and the singers.
Yeah.
And I felt no, I think I'm more of a player. And then guitarists, it's just an incredibly competitive community. So I love playing, but there's so many amazing guitarists. So constantly feel there's just a lot to learn.
Yeah, I can imagine. But you are fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. So, quick fire questions. Now, these are dead easy. It's just a little bit of fun for people to get to know you a bit more, and hopefully encourage more people to come along and see you. So,
Sure.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Okay. Are you an early bird or night owl?
Early bird. which is odd, I know, for musicians, but yeah.
Because when they say it, I always think you're up all night playing. So, I thought, yeah.
I became a night owl because I had like a shoulder injury, so that kind of kept me up at night. But otherwise, so I've tried to take the nights to use them to my advantage. But otherwise, I'm an early bird. I love like the blank page of a day, and when the city is just about to wake up, and I love it. Where no matter where I am in the world. Is like my favorite time is like early morning, when I travel or whatever.
Perfect. There's a country song in there somewhere. There really is. Beach or countryside? I don't know if we've lost her.
Yeah, I think we froze.
It's frozen. We'll keep talking. She'll come back.
Let's keep talking until she comes back.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll come back.
That was definitely interesting. You know who else is an early bird? Is Dolly. Oh, hey, you're back.
There you go.
You were frozen there for a minute, so we're like, okay, we'll just talk about ourselves.
Okay, you guys are frozen too.
That's all right.
You said beach or countryside?
Yeah, beach or countryside.
Oh gosh. I love both, but I think I'll say beach because I was born close to one, and that's kind of been church for me.
Perfect.
Walking down to the beach and sitting down. Yeah.
Amazing. Favorite season?
I'll say fall. And my husband thinks fall represents death, but I don't agree. I love fall.
That's a different way of looking at fall, but yeah.
They're very different ways of looking at it.
What's your biggest fear?
I hate cockroaches. Those freak me out.
They're funny. Strange things.
Oh, I should probably come up with something more profound, but I'm blanking out right now.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Favorite holiday?
This goes back to when I was a kid, Easter, and that's because in Sweden, where I grew up, they're coming out of a long, dark winter where there's like almost no sunlight, and right before Easter, there are celebrations, and they're very colorful. There's just the little flowers that are coming up. There's the way people decorate their homes, it's very colorful. And plus I remember my mom was Polish, and so one tradition that they have in Poland and Russia is painting Easter eggs. And me liking creative things, painting eggs, great. So that was my favorite holiday then.
That sounds like England. Yeah, we don't have the colourfulness, but you had the painting of eggs and Easter egg hunts and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's quite good. Favorite drink?
I'm gonna be really dull because I don't drink booze. I mean, I used to say sake. I loved sake. I can't drink that anymore. So, man, I'm gonna say matcha lattes. Yeah, I got some kind of Japan thing. I'm drawn to Asian, food and things.
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
Perfect. Favorite animal?
Dog.
Yay! We're with them.
Favorite color?
Oh, it alternates between fuchsia and I think I'd say fuchsia, kind of like a raspberry, purplish red.
A great color. If you could talk to anyone, dead or alive, who would you want to talk to, and about what?
I love to talk to Aretha Franklin about singing and bringing life to a lyric, and learn some piano chops from her.
Yeah, I think you make
Yeah.
such a great point. Some people don't realize Aretha Franklin as musically, instrumentally as they do as a singer, you know, and that's just awesome. Like she was just all around. Yeah.
Yeah, when she passed away, I mean, there were so few people that mentioned what a great piano player she was and how those sessions in Muscle Shoals, classic sessions, I mean, they were kind of not happening. They didn't know what to do. The musicians, it was kind of like, it was like very slow to start off. There was no mojo there until she sat down at the piano, and then suddenly that just, yeah, then classics were created. So, and here's the thing, I think that's my connection. Although it's a kind of long-winded connection into country music, because for me, I always loved the soul music that came out of that area in Memphis with like High Records, Al Green, Ann Peebles, and then Aretha when she came down to Muscle Shoals. I love that sound because that's where country, soul, gospel, and blues, rhythm and blues, where it all intersects. And so that's probably where, like, if there's a slight country influence, that's where it kind of spills in to me. Yeah. Not so much my vocals, but maybe the guitar playing. I mean, I love country guitar. They're amazing. So
That's good.
Oh, so what's one of your hobbies?
I love to cook, and I also love traveling and exploring the world, seeing as much of the world as I possibly can. My husband and I, we had a fun project when we were in LA. Before the pandemic, we had this thing called Around the World in LA. And we basically listed all the countries of the world in alphabetical order, which is about 200 or so countries. And we would explore them in alphabetical order. We'd check out the food and the culture. And if there was a neighborhood in LA or, you know, something, then we would go and check it out. And if there wasn't anything, then we would try to cook a dish. And that was so much fun. And we got to Gambia, I think.
Wow.
No, Greece. Yeah, Greece. We were about to like check out Grenada. And that's like 79 or so countries alone. And it's just been, it was the coolest thing. And that's something I really miss.
Mm-hmm.
And with the pandemic, it's kind of hard to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea though. You could still do that with like food dishes, maybe do that like one night a week, pick a different place.
Yeah, you can. It just feels like because we started off and we like would go to neighborhoods and go to cultural centers and you meet the people, it felt like I would write posts on my Facebook page about it, and a lot of people seem to, you know, be interested in that. And it feels like you'd be cheating if you just do videos and cooking. It's like, no, then it's not quite the same thing.
You want to experience the whole thing as much as possible. That's cool.
Yeah, that's so much fun.
Sounds like fun, actually.
Yeah, I think we're all gonna have to do that after the pandemic.
Sorry?
We're all gonna have to do that after the pandemic. Pick something and I'll just do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you feel a little tired of where you live or jaded or so, try something like that. I mean, yeah, granted, I know LA, New York, Chicago, it's easier to do that, but yeah, so that's what we do. Yeah, road trips, cooking, and we're hoping that we could get a dog, and then that would be a dream fulfilled. So.
Perfect. That'd be amazing.
Dogs are the best.
So if you could be a musical, what musical would you be?
Oh gosh, that's funny. I've gotten that question before, so I'm glad that I'm actually prepared. I think I'll say Hair. Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, if you could be a mythical, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's so many great music that was written, but yeah, I don't know. Rock musicals. I mean, I don't think Rocky Horror Picture Show. I did Tommy. I don't think it's really. Yeah. So I'll say hair.
That's good.
The hippies.
If you were a mythical creature, what creature would you be?
Medea.
That's a good one. I like that. If you were a Disney character.
Or something with like multiple arms. But I'd have guitars in all the arms instead of men's heads.
That's even better, yeah.
Oh. If you were a Disney character, what character would you be?
Oh, if you would have said a Muppet, I would have known immediately.
Okay, well, we can change that. If you were a Muppet, what Muppet would you be?
I've always had a soft spot for Kermit.
Aww.
Kermit's like a little bit corny, but no, I love him.
Yeah, Kermit rocks. I love the Muppets. Great.
I love. I don't know how they like managed to make, because I've seen Kermit. I went to this marionette museum and Kermit was sitting like in this director's chair, and I mean the eyeballs, they're just these like big white ping pong balls with like plus signs, but I don't know how they make his face so expressive.
He's amazing.
It's like,
He is.
anyway, thoughts. Random thoughts.
We love it.
We love it, yeah, totally.
So what's one of your favorite snacks?
Chips, but that's dangerous because it's like crack for me. You put a bowl of chips in front of me and I can't just eat one.
It never happens that way, does it? You have to separate, take it out, and that's it. Get rid of the packet, whatever's there, eat it. If not, that's
no, those are dangerous.
So what's one song that you've been listening to lately that you would recommend that everyone listens to?
Let's see. I'm trying to think of something country.
It doesn't have to be country.
Okay.
Listen to.
Well, I'll say I did see this documentary about Dolly Parton that it's fairly recent, and I thought, wow, it was really good. And I always respected her as a songwriter, but it really made me appreciate. And I can't remember the name of it, but it's about a pregnant woman and she jumps off a bridge. I can't remember, but she's amazing. She could like come up with songs about anything, come up with stories about anything.
Yeah.
Let's see, people who I've been listening to lately. So it's a funk artist. She was, her name is Betty Davis, and she released 3 albums in the 70s. And she was this wild and outrageous woman with like tiny shorts and hot pants, and she released these incredible funk albums, and then she just disappeared and nobody knew where she went, and the documentary was made about her, and she lives a very quiet life in Pittsburgh. But yeah, I was like, what happened to her? And I've been listening to her, and I've been trying to I try to learn drums, and so I've been like trying to sit back there and try to play along with some Betty Davis. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
How many artists do that? I mean, all famous people, they go through their career for so long and that's it. They just vanish and nobody sees them again,
I think one of country's biggest was Barbara Mandrell there for the longest time. As soon as she was done, she's like, okay, I've retired. I am done. And,
That's it.
And that was that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like she's like, I loved it. And sorry, here comes the cat. And see, this is Tigger.
Yeah.
Oh, how cute.
Tigger's gorgeous. Every now and then somebody to see a tail and that's it.
Yeah. It's usually just the tail of the there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the other way, because I moved the chair and behind me, and
She's great.
Spoiled.
They're all spoiled. So, the last question. Who is your favourite CWC host?
My favorite what?
CWC host. Crazy Women Country host.
Both of you. I can't choose.
Damn it. I thought we had it now.
I know.
you're asking a Libra who's like, first of all, is indecisive or and is always on the one hand, but on the other hand, always being very objective. I try not to let astrology dictate me too much, but yeah, I remember that about Libras.
What's your birth date?
October 16, and so is my husband's.
Oh, at least you can't forget.
Yeah.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
Perfect planning that is. You can't forget a birthday now.
No. We sing happy birthday to us. Yeah.
To us. Sorted.
Yeah.
That's great.
I love that. So what does, obviously, we know 2021 is still as crazy as it was last year. So what have you got planned for the rest of the year?
Oh gosh, to kick myself in the butt writing songs, I just got into a songwriting workshop with Joe Henry, who amazing songwriter. He's worked with Roseanne Cash and Bonnie Raitt and Solomon Burke and all kinds of people, and he's like especially a wonderful lyricist, but and a great singer as well. So that's been cool, and I'm just trying to get into the mindset of writing again. Yeah, the pandemic, I mean, I was hoping that after the album was released that I was going to play a bunch of shows and get over to Europe and my first European tour, because I've got some really nice reviews in Sweden and the Netherlands and Belgium and the UK and Ireland as well. So yeah, so I was hoping to do that, and now it's kind of, obviously that stopped for a lot of musicians. So yeah, trying to write new material and see what this new time and new environment being in Chicago influences, to see how that trickles down.
Yeah. And do you find the remote co-writes more difficult than being in person? I mean, some of our other people have told us that there's more of a vibe being in person than just doing in person over Zoom. And
yeah, I think musically that may be a little tricky, but I'm willing to do it. As far as writing goes, I usually prefer writing alone, even if I've co-written a lot of songs with somebody who lives in Idaho. So he's Paul Manser. He's writing a lot of the lyrics on my latest album and the album before, and that's been working fine. We've done that for a couple of years now, where I basically just record sketches into the iPhone with an acoustic guitar, and then he emails lyrics, and we go back and forth and exchange voice recordings. So that has been fine. Yeah. As far as recording music, that's making me a little weary, because I feel like with this kind of rootsier music and that's guitar based, I feel like it sounds so much better when everybody is in one room together. And we're as little like overdubbing and separation as possible. Yeah. So yeah, that's how my latest album was recorded, and it just felt sonically and everything, the vibe, everything was just infinitely better. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so we'll see. But I mean, a lot of people have been forcing themselves to learn Pro Tools, and just so you can like collaborate, and even if those songs don't get recorded right away, I guess
so they're ready to go type thing.
Well, we can write sketches, but otherwise, yeah. So I think that's going to be something that I'll get into, but otherwise, it's been a lot of guitar playing for me. So yeah, this one has gotten a lot of wear. So. And just the opportunity to practice a lot, because if you're gigging, you're rehearsing, and there's not as much time to do that. So the pandemic has brought that blessing in disguise.
So what sort of guitar do you play? So if you've got any fans who do play, what sort of guitar do you play?
I So the one that I just pulled up, that's a Telecaster.
Okay.
And so I love the Tele, I love the twang, and I go with a fairly clean sound. I'm kind of old school. The feel is like in the hands. And I mean, I dig effect pedals and stuff like that, but yeah, that's kind of my main guitar. And then I can play some other guitars too, but that has been the Fender, Tele has been the one that's my main.
Your main one. That's cool.
Yeah.
There might be fans out there who play as well, so they might know, love to know what you play as well. So.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Perfect. Well, we've had fun. It's been so nice talking to you at last. It's been a long time coming around, but it's been.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I know you guys mostly interview country artists, so maybe I'm a little bit of an anomaly.
Cool. We like to, mix it up with different people.
Mix it up a bit. Okay.
Absolutely. Because, people put things into such boxes of music anymore that, sometimes when I listen to today's country, I go back to the 90s and I think of some of the pop and how we had like songwriting has evolved even. Because if you listen to like some of the country songs now, they're like the pop written songs of the 90s. They don't always do a full story. They do just the emotion or just a certain item or it's
pop with a fiddle and and just like the rock is pop with very distorted guitars. And,
it's just cool how it evolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but country, like especially the guitar playing, it's like just and the lyric writing, it's amazing. So that is, I'm approaching it more and more, and there's a little bit of like an Americana twang to some of the songs on the album. So.
Yeah, I mean, the album was fantastic. You all should go out and get the album because it is absolutely amazing.
And we'll have the social links and website links below, so you make sure you click on those. Yes. Or if you're on the Anchor podcast listening, make sure that you click the links.
Yes. For
Nikki O'Neill.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No worries. Yay, it must be fun.
If you enjoyed today's episode of Crazy Women Country, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to click the subscribe button for new interviews weekly. And thank you, friends, for joining us today on Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter.